Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is well and in good spirits. Uh, I've been asked on several occasions to do a video on canning. So here it is. I am going to be canning a bunch of greens. I had picked a bunch of greens out of my garden and picked them, blanched them, and froze them. So now I'm going to go ahead and get these bad boys in the can. Okay, so the first batch that I have is some cooked greens uh, that I had done a few months back. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the jar and get them canned. So my jars, okay, so my jars have already been cleaned, okay, steamed really well. So they are ready. Uh, the jars are ready. So now this batch has meat in it. So we're gonna cook a little bit longer, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and just squeeze them in here. I'm just gonna demonstrate a couple of batches, okay? Get these done. So we're gonna have a bunch of greens stocked up in the canner when this is all done. So what we're doing here is we're filling the jars up to a 1-inch headspace. Okay? No more than a 1-inch headspace. We can put a little bit more in here. Okay. I think this is going to get it. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to debubble. And it's very important to debubble. So we're just going to go around. See, and we already got our juices in there. We're just going to go around and debubble. Get it down. Okay. That's one batch. Okay. And I think this batch is gonna yield about 3 jars, I think, maybe a little bit more. But we're gonna go ahead and get this batch here. Okay. So we don't have to put, okay, so we got some turkey necks in here. So we're gonna go ahead and push that down. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, got a little bit more space. Put some more greens in. Yeah, I think this is going to accommodate about 2 more jars that I have here. Okay. So we're going to debubble this. And anytime that you are, okay, we're gonna have to pull a little of this juice off of here. Let me see. Maybe not. So we're just gonna go around and make sure that you can see here. We're gonna go around with the debubble. Okay. So that's 2. And start another one. Yeah, I think it's gonna be, we're gonna need about 2 more jars for this one. And it's already seasoned really well, but I'm gonna put a little bit of granulated mushroom bouillon, which gives it a real good flavor. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and push it down. Good deal. Okay. I think this will be, yeah, that's more than enough here. So we're gonna debubble this. It's gonna go around. And this is very important again, to debubble once you get your food in your jars. Okay. This is the 3rd one. Okay. Okay. So I forgot to show you the utensils that I'm using for canning. These are our canning utensils. This is your magnet that you use to pick up your lids, because you don't want to use your hands to pick the lids up. Okay, so I have my lids in warm water. So when I get ready to get them in the jars, I just pick them up with the magnet. This is the debubbler. Okay, this is what I use to get all of the little the pockets out of the jars, to kind of debubble the pockets. This is what I use to pick up the jars, especially when you have them once they finish in the pressure canner. You pick it up with this, because the jars will be really hot. Okay. And then this is the funnel. This is what I use to put my vegetables through, or whatever I'm canning. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start. I have some kale here that I have blanched. So I'm gonna put seasoning in that and finish canning. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we're ready to put our kale in the jars. I've already filled the jar with a little bit of garlic, bay leaves, some mushroom bouillon, and a little bit of vinegar. Okay, so we're just going to stuff our jars with this kale here. So I have a lot of greens, so I'm going to be using a lot of jars, and I'll probably be doing two batches in the canner. One batch I'll can, and then once that's done, I'll put another batch in the canner. Just I have a bunch of greens here. Okay, so we're gonna get our kind of push it down a little bit. I think we can add a little bit more, just a little bit more of the kale in here. Okay, all right. Just a little bit more. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go around with the debubbler. All right. I think that's enough for that one. Okay. And I'm gonna go with our second jar. I'm gonna get the funnel. Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna maybe need 2 more jars for this kale. Squeeze it down in here. Wow. And this is kind of I'm gonna use. I thought I may have to use a little bit of broth, but I think it's making. I think I have enough juice here. To create its own liquid. Okay. All right, we got it going on here. Okay. So we're gonna push this down, kind of debubble a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's enough juice in here. Well, I may have to put a little bit more. Just a tad bit of broth, not a whole lot, especially for this one. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the third jar of kale. Trying not to show my face here. Okay. I think we're on the ball here. I think we just have enough. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this broth in here. The rest of the kale in here. Get it going on. Okay. All righty. Okay. Now we have all of our jars filled. Another very important thing that we need to do is just go around the top of your jars with a little bit of vinegar. Okay. So I soak vinegar in this paper towel. So you're going to make sure that the top of the jars are really clean before we put the tops on. Okay. So just going around just like this. Making sure everything is good and white, clean. Okay. Okay. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our lids on. Okay. So we're going to move our pot over here. Lids. Okay, so we're just going to take our lids, put them on top of the jars just like so. I mean, this is really an easy process. One on. So I think we should have 8 lids here. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to put our rings on, and we just screwing them on just finger tight. We don't want to make it real tight, just finger tight. Okay, I think that's on there. Let me make sure that it's good and sealed. Okay, just finger tight. Okay. Okay, so that's it with, this is it with the jars. We've got our jars filled, and they're ready for the canner. One more. Okay. Okay. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the pressure canner. This is a 23-quart Pesto canner, pressure canner. Okay. It comes with racks. It comes with the lid here. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about the lid. Okay, let me do this little rubber band here. Okay, so this is the band that's going to help to seal the canner. Okay. So we're going to take a little bit of olive oil. And this is to help with the sealing once you fit it back onto the lid. Okay. So you're just going to go around with the olive oil here, just coating coating the rubber seal. Okay, and so we're going to fit it into the lid like so. Okay. All right. We're going to take, I've already put water into the pot. I use about 2 inches of water. So remember, whenever you're using cold items, whenever you're canning cold items, you're going to be using cold water. Okay. So we're going to put the rack in here. And again, those are quart jars that we have. So hopefully it'll fit. Yeah, it should fit 8 jars in here. Okay. Now, the top of the lid, we have our pressure gauge. Okay. This gauge, it depends on where you are. It goes by the altitude of wherever you are. Like say for instance, okay, so we're in Texas. We're a little bit below sea level. So we're gonna bring this gauge up to 10 pounds of pressure. Okay, that's as far as we're gonna go with it. Okay, so in the Texas area, it's 10 pounds of pressure. Say for instance, if you were in Colorado, where it's very above sea level, you use 15 pounds of pressure. Okay, so we don't want to worry about Colorado. We're in Texas, so we're going to use 10 pounds of pressure. Now this little spigot here, make sure that it's good and loose all the time, because when the water comes up to pressure, it's going to be jumping up and down. Okay, which is good because you're going to be releasing a lot of steam is going to be released. Okay, so now we have our pressure. This is the one that I use most, pressure gauge. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to bring the water to a rolling boil. So once it goes up to a rolling boil, this is going to release steam steadily. Okay, you're going to allow that steam, once it starts coming up at a steady pace, for 10 minutes. You're going to set your timer for 10 minutes. Allow that pressure to release for 10 minutes. Once that's done, you're going to put, and then once it gets, well, okay, you're just going to put your gauge on here. Once it has released steam for exactly 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put my jars in. And when you put your jars in, that water is going to rise, of course. It's going to rise up. Okay. And we already, I forgot to let you know that once you get the water in, you're going to put a little bit of vinegar in the water. That's to keep your jars from clouding up. Because you don't want your jars to come out cloudy. Okay. So I thought we could get 8 cans in here, but 8 jars, but we we're going to save this one for the next batch. Okay, so I have 7 jars in here, and we're going to go ahead, fit our lid onto our pot, and there's a little arrow here. I don't know if you can see it. You're going to have to align that arrow okay. There we go. So we're going to have to align that arrow with the arrow on the handle of the pot. So we're just going to close it like so. Okay. All right.